Hello, welcome to my videos and my blog. In this time, I'm going to talk about I'm going to talk about the NFL 2024 season, week 15 prediction. Where tomorrow will start the week 15 with the Tuesday night football game, and the next Sunday we have the most of the game, and the season. And the week will finish this next Monday. So for that reason, like the last 14 videos, I'm going to talk about the games that will be played this week, and I'm going to give my prediction about each game. So let's see how many games I am right in the end of the week. So let's start with tomorrow. How I told you in the beginning of the video, we'll start the week 15 with the Thursday night football in a divisional game, in a tremendous game where the San Francisco 49ers will receive the Los Angeles Rams and Santa Clara, California, in the Levi's Stadium, and 2015 Eastern Time. The last week, both teams won their game respectively. The 49ers had an easy game and defeated the Bears by 25 points, and the Rams did surprise because they dominated the game. They played a tremendous offense game and they defeated the Bills by 2 point difference. In this moment, this is a divisional game, how I told you. Both teams are in the NFC West, where the Rams are in the second place with a 7-6 record and a back-to-back victories, and the 49ers are in the bottom of the of the division, but with a 6-7 record. So the only difference is between these two teams is only one game. Remember that these two teams played. This will be the second game that these two teams will play, where in the week 3 the Rams did surprise and defeated the 49ers by 3 point difference in the SoFi Stadium, where the 49ers play a very great game and they dominate that game, but they couldn't close the game, and the Rams won the game in the last quarter. So about this game, this is a must game to two teams. To if any of these two teams want to have a hope to enter to the playoffs. So I think that this will be a close game, but in this moment I think that the 49ers did a surprise and they will win this game because they will play in home, and I think that this game will be defined in the last second of the game, if not in the last play of the game, and the difference will be between 1 to 3 point difference. And the next Sunday we'll have a most of the game, where in the first shift and 13 o'clock Eastern time we'll have 7 games. Where in the first game will be the New Orleans Saints will receive the Washington Commanders there in New Orleans. The last week the Saints traveled to the Big Apple and defeated the Giants by 3 point difference in a very ugly and bad game, and the Commanders had is by week. In this moment the Saints are in the third place in the NFC South with a 5-8 record, and they are going to be eliminated because they are not going to qualify. And the Commanders that come from bye week, they have a 8-5 record. They are in the second place in the NFC East, and in this moment they are in the playoff zone. So I think that the Commanders won't have any problem and they will win this game by more than 7 point difference. In another game, the Cleveland Browns will receive the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning champion team. They're in Cleveland, Ohio. The last week, the Browns traveled to Pittsburgh and lost against my favorite team by 13 point difference, and they officially were eliminated. And the Steelers took revenge of the first game between these two teams. And the Kansas City Chiefs again, they come from behind and won the game in the last play of the game, where they won it by a field goal, and they defeated the Chargers in the Sunday Night Football by 2 point difference. With this victory, the Chiefs clinch won the AFC West. They have the best record in the AFC, and also they clinch a spot in the playoffs, and they have a 12-1 record, and they have a 3 back-to-back victories. And the Cleveland, how I told you, they are eliminated and they are in the bottom of the AFC North. So I think that this will be a close game because the Browns have a great defense. The Chiefs have a great defense, and in the offense hasn't been played a very great football. But they have Patrick Mahomes, and you know that when Patrick Mahomes have the last football of the game, the most probably the Chiefs are going to win this game. So I think that this will be a close game, and I think that the Chiefs are going to win this game by 3 or 7 point difference. In another game, the Tennessee Titans will receive the Cincinnati Bengals there in Tennessee, Memphis. I think so. The last week, the Tennessee lost against against the Jaguars by 4 point difference in a very ugly way. And the Bengals defeated the Cowboys in the Monday Night Football by a one possession, by one touchdown, and they still have possibilities to enter to the playoff, but they're very minimal. And the Titans are eliminated from enter to the playoffs, and the Bengals have a little hope because they have a 5-7 record. In this moment, they are in the third place in the AFC North, but it looks very difficult to enter to the playoffs because they are 3 games away from the last spot in playoffs, the Chargers. So the Bengals need a miracle to enter to the playoffs. So about this game, I think that the Bengals won't have any problem and they will win this game by more than 10 point difference, and they will have a hope to enter to a playoff, but it looks very difficult. In another great game, the Houston Texans will receive the Miami Dolphins. They are in Houston, Texas. The last week, the Texans had a bye week, and the Dolphins battled more than what expected, and they defeated the Jets in overtime by 6 point difference. In this moment, the Texans are leading the AFC South with the A5 record, but they are not playing a very great football like they played in the last season. But they are still early this division, and the most probably they're gonna to qualify. And the Miami Dolphins are in the second place in the AFC East. They have a 6-7 record, and this is a must to win this game because in this moment they are 2 games away the last spot in playoff in the wild card zone. So if they don't win this game, they most probably the Dolphins are gonna to be eliminated. So about this game, I think that this will be a close game because two teams have a very great games. And I think that this will be a close game, but I think that the Texans will win this game because they will play in home and they come from a bye week. So I think that the Texans will win this game by 3 or 7 point difference. In another game, the New York Giants will receive the Baltimore Ravens there in the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. The last week, the Giants played the worst game of the week, where they lost against the Saints by 3 point difference, where the Giants had the opportunity to tie the game and force overtime, but they missed his field goal was blocked. And the Ravens come for a bye week. In this moment, the Giants are eliminated from the playoffs, and the Baltimore Ravens in this moment they are in the second place in the AFC North with the A5 record, and in this moment they are the best wild card in the AFC. So I think that the Ravens will have an easy game because they come from a bye week and they have a better team and better talent. So I think that the Ravens will win this game by more than 14 point difference. And in another game, in a very ugly game, the Jacksonville Jaguars will receive the New York Jets there in Jacksonville, Florida. The last week, the Jaguars did a surprise and defeated the Titans 10-6, and the Jets lost against the Dolphins in overtime, where the Jets happened the same that happened 2 weeks ago against the Seattle Seahawks, where the Jets dominate the game in the first half, or in the first half and the third quarter, but in the fourth quarter, the Seahawks and the Dolphins recover. They play a very great game in that quarter, and they they score the Jets, and for that reason the Jets lost both games. So in this moment, these two teams are eliminated from to the playoffs, and there is not much to talk about this game. I think that this will be a close game, but I think that the Jets are gonna to win this game by 7 or 10 point difference. In another game, the Carolina Panthers will receive the Dallas Cowboys there in Carolina, North Carolina. I think so. The last week, the Panthers played a great game, but unfortunately, they lost against No, sorry. Yes, the Panthers traveled to Philadelphia and they lost against Eagle by 6 point difference. Where the Panthers play a very great game, and even they had the opportunity to win this game, but they couldn't, and they lost that game. And the Buccaneers had an easy game, and they defeated the Raiders by 15 point difference. Where it wasn't as easy as the score said, because in the first 3 quarters the Raiders play a very great game, but in the fourth quarter is when the Buccaneers play the best game, and for that reason they won that game. In this moment, Sorry. The Panthers, how I told you, they lost against the Eagles. Sorry, and the Cowboys lost against the Bengals in the Monday Night Football by 7 point difference, where the Cowboys had the opportunity. They had the opportunity to have the last possession of the game, but his special team made a mistake. This led to the Bengals to score a touchdown and won that game. So in this moment, these two teams are very bad because the Panthers are in the third place in the AFC NFC South. Sorry, they are in the bottom of the AFC South with a 3-10 record. They have a three straight losses, and the Cowboys are in the third place in the NFC East with a 5-A record. So these two teams are going to be eliminated because it's very possible that they enter to the playoffs. The Cowboys are 3 games away from the last spot in the playoffs, but this looks very difficult. So I think that this will be a close game, but a very close game because two teams are very bad. But I think that the Panthers are going to win this game because they will play in home and they will win this game by more than 3 point difference. And in the second shift, we'll have 5 games. Where all the games will be played at 60:25 Eastern time. The first game, a very great game. The Los Angeles Chargers will receive the Tampa Bay Buccaneers there in the Inglewood, California, in the SoFi Stadium. The last week, the Chargers lost against the Chiefs, but by 2 point difference, they lost because the Chiefs scored a field goal and they lost the game in the dramatic way. And the Buccaneers defeated the Raiders by 15 point difference, where the Raiders play a very great game in the first 3 quarters, but in the last quarter the Bucs play the best game, and for that reason they won that game. In this moment, the Chargers are in the second place in the AFC West with the A5 record. With the Chargers lost the last Sunday Night Football, they missed the opportunity to win this division because the Chiefs won it, and the Bucs, for first time since the week 6 or 7, they are leading the NFC South with a 7-6 record. They have a 3 straight victories, and most probably they're going to win this division. So I think that both teams are going to be in the playoffs, more especially the Chargers. So I think that this will be a close game. But in the end, I think that the Chargers will have the advantage to play at home. So I think the Chargers will win this game by 3 or 7 point difference. In another great game and a very important game for in the AFC, the Denver Broncos will receive the Indianapolis Colts. They're in the Denver, Colorado. The last week, both teams had a bye week and they didn't play. So, in this moment, the Broncos are in the third place in the AFC West with an A5 record, and they have 3 straight victories. And the Colts are in the second place in the AFC South with a 6-7 record. So in this moment, the Broncos are in the sixth place in the wildcard. They are in wildcard zone. They have a A5 record, and the Colts are in the hunt to enter to the playoff. They are in the 8th place. So the Colts are 2 games away from the last spot, the Chargers, and they have the same record as the Broncos. So this is a must win to the Colts, because if they lost this game, they are going to be eliminated because it's very difficult that they can win each division. So and for the Broncos also is a very important game, because if they win this game, then most probably they're gonna to enter to the playoff. So I think that this will be a very close game. I think that this game will be defined by 1 or 3 point difference, and the most probably this game will be defined in the last play of the game. So I think that the Broncos will have the advantage because they will play in home and they will win this game. In another game, the Arizona Cardinals will receive the Patriots, the New England Patriots, there in Arizona. The last week, the Cardinals lost in a very ugly way. They lost against the Seahawks by 12 point difference, and they lost the series. And the Patriots had a bye week. The Cardinals, in this moment, they are in the third place in the NFC West with a 6-7 record, but they have a 3 straight losses. Three weeks ago, they were leading this division, but they started to play a very bad situation, and they fell to the third place. And now it looks very difficult to enter to a playoff. But in this moment, they are 2 games behind the Seahawks, and the Patriots are eliminated. So I think that the Cardinals will return to the victory, even that the Patriots had a bye week. So I think that the Cardinals will win this game by more than 10 point difference. And in the best game of the week, if not the best game of the season, the Detroit Lions will receive the Buffalo Bills and Detroit, Michigan in the Ford Field Stadium. So the last week the Lions had a complicated game, but they defeated the Packers by 3 point difference in the Thursday night football, and the Bills lost surprisingly, where they lost by 2 point difference against the Los Angeles Rams. They're in the Inglewood, California. In this moment, the Lions are a clinch spot to the playoffs. They are leading the NFC North with a 12-11 record, and they have 11 straight victories, and they are leading the NFC, and the Bills are leading the AFC East with a 10-3 record, and they clinch a spot to the playoffs. So, in my opinion, this is a perfect game. I think that these two teams will play based in what is happening in this moment. I think that this will be the next Super Bowl, the Super Bowl 59 that will be playing in New Orleans, because in my opinion the Bills are the best team in the AFC, and the Lions are the best team in the NFC and the best team in the NFL, in my opinion. So until this moment, I think that this will be the next Super Bowl. So it will be very interesting. So let's see in the AFC what the Chiefs have to say, and the same happen in the NFC with the Eagles. So I think this will be a tremendous game where we'll show which of the two teams is better. So I expect that this will be a close game where the game will be defined by 3 or 7 point difference. The most probably this game will be defined in the last minutes of the game. I don't expect that this game is going to be defined in the last seconds. So I think that the Lions will have the advantage because they will play in home. So I think that the Lions will win this game by 3 or 7 point difference. And the second best game of the week, the Philadelphia State game. Two teams, yes, a state game. The Philadelphia Pennsylvania State game. The Philadelphia Eagles will receive my favorite team, my Pittsburgh Steelers, there in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The last week, both teams won their game respectively. The Philadelphia battled more than what expected, but in the end, they defeated the Panthers by 6 point difference. My Steelers took revenge of what happened 3 weeks ago, where the Steelers lost against the Browns in the week 12. In this game, in the week 14, the Steelers had an easy game, and they won the game easily by 13 point difference. In this moment, the Eagles clinch a spot to the playoffs. They are leading the NFC East with the 11-2 record, and they have 9 straight victories. And my Steelers are leading the AFC North. They have a 10-3 record, and they have a back-to-back victories. In this moment, they increased to a 2 games lead against the Ravens because the Ravens had a bye week. So this will be a tremendous game. Remember that the Steelers have 60 years that they couldn't defeat the Eagles in Philadelphia. So I think that this will be a close game, but I need to be honest, the Eagles are a better team than the Steelers, unfortunately. So I think that this will be a close game, but in the end, I think that the Eagles will win this game by 7 or 10 point difference, and my Steelers will lose this game, unfortunately. And the third best game of the week will be played where the Seattle Seahawks will receive the Green Bay Packers there in Seattle, Washington, in the Sunday Night Football and 2020 Easter time. The last week, the Seattle Seahawks didn't have any problem and defeated the Cardinals by 12 point difference. And the Packers play a great game, especially in the second half, but they lost against the Lions by 3 point difference, and they lost the series. In this moment, the Seattle Seahawks are leading the AFC West with the A5 record. They have 4 straight victories. And if they continue winning the games, then most probably they're going to win this division. And the Packers are in the third place in the NFC North. They have a 9-4 record. They have been doing an amazing season, but unfortunately, is that they are in the division with the Lions and the Vikings. So this will be a tremendous game where I expect a very close game. But I think that the Seahawks will have the advantage because they will play in home. So I think that the Seahawks will win this game by 3 or 7 point difference, and the game is going to be defined in the last minutes of the game. And in the next Monday, we'll have the 2 games. I don't know why, but it was scheduled in the beginning of the season. So in the first game, the first Monday Night Football game, will be a divisional game where the Minnesota Vikings will receive, the Chicago Bears. They're in Minneapolis, and 20 o'clock Eastern time. Remember that last week the Vikings defeated the Falcons, where the Falcons play a great game in the first two quarters, but in the last quarter, the Vikings play a tremendous game where they scored 21 points without answer and they won the game easily. And the Bears traveled to the West Coast and they play a very bad game and they lost the game that game by 25 point difference against the 49ers. In this moment, the Vikings are in the second place in the NFC North with a 11-6 record, and they have a six straight victories, and they are in the wild card zone. And the Bears are eliminated, but they are in the border of the NFC North with a 4-9 record, and they have a seven straight losses. This is very rare. Remember that these two teams played its first game 3 weeks ago in the week 12, where the Vikings defeated the Bears by the 3 point difference in the overtime, where the Vikings had the game under control, but they couldn't close this game. The Bears tied the game. They forced an overtime, but the Vikings could get the victory. So I expect another close game, but in the end, the Vikings are a better team than the Bears. I know that this is an divisional game, but I think that the Vikings will win this game by 7 or 10 point difference. And the game that will close the week in the Monday Night Football second game, the Las Vegas Raiders will receive the Atlanta Falcons there in Las Vegas, Nevada, and 20:30 is their time. The last week the Raiders traveled to the East Coast and unfortunately they lost against the Bucs by 15 point difference, where the Raiders play a very great game in the first three quarters, but in the fourth quarter they couldn't score points and they allowed 14 points. And the Falcons play a great game, the same that happened with the Raiders, where the Falcons compete and play a great game in the first three quarters, where the game was tied 21-21, but in the last quarter the Falcons were outscored 0-21 and they lost that game, where Kirk Cousins has been playing a very bad football in the last four games. So these two teams are very bad. In this moment, the Riders are eliminated, and the Atlanta Falcons lost the NFC South number one place after 7 weeks leading this division. They fell to the second place in the NFC South with a 6-7 record. They have a 4 straight losses. So this is a must to win for the Falcons. If not, the most probably they're going to be eliminated. And the Falcons need to win all the game, the rest of the game, and waste some combination, because it's very difficult that they can qualify as a wild card team. So I think that this will be a close game, but I think that in the end the Falcons are better team than the Raiders, and the Falcons will win this game by 7 or more point difference. So in this video, I talk about the games that will be playing in the NFL 2024 season week 15, and I got my prediction about this. So I hope you like this video, and if you have any comment or suggestion, you can write me any comment, and any of my social media platforms, Substack, YouTube, and Spotify. So this is all for today. See you next video. Cheers.